road. Yes, I am on my way.
Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. And we're finally here for a bit of Christmas now, because Christmas is well and truly in full flow, because Amazon Prime are starting their matches. And normally when Amazon Prime start doing their matches, that means it's pretty much Christmas. But just before that, we've got the last weekly review show before December, before all of that crap starts hitting on. Next Monday should be hilarious because we've got 2 of each matches, so I'm looking forward to that. But we are joined by Tyler, Paul, Russ and Kenny. How are we all doing?
Nice to be back after a few weeks. I mean, Liverpool have picked up on the form a little bit, so I'm glad to be coming on today.
Probably been a couple of months since I've been on, to be fair.
Yeah. To be fair, Russ still does all the thumbnails, so he helps. I
can't take all the credit, Niall. You've been doing a fair few of them.
Yeah, I'm well aware. I've spent many of hours in front of my computer shouting at it and threatening all sorts of physical violence to my computer. I'm surprised it hasn't broken down on purpose yet. Also, big up to D James. We got Wolf in the chat, Lionel Messi apparently in the chat. See people talking about the Ballon d'Or, which is the most pointless award in the world. It's been a popularity contest for the last 10 years, so I don't know why you're surprised Messi's won it, but congratulations to Lionel Messi and Pedri, who is yet to score a goal in 70 matches for Barcelona. But hey, we move. Clearly, he has done amazing work ahead of almost many of it. I think even Mendes was above Greenwood, so I really dislike this award.
They call Pedri. They call Pedri 0070.
Yeah, well, something like that. It will get to 0-0 100 by the time he scores. But we've got a lot to talk about. Max in, Lanzi in as well. Bruno got 21st. I thought that was a bit shocking. But,
just to let the whole stream know, Kenny is currently eating a raw cucumber. Just like that.
It's a good
cucumber. Don't know why. Proper weird, but I just thought I'd let you know.
It's actually
just to clarify for anyone who's listening, not a sliced cucumber. He's just eating an entire cucumber as it comes.
as I come.
Yeah, just basically as it unwrapped it, cut the top off it
as well.
Yeah, I mean, I praise you for eating healthy and all that, but you might as well just go get a raw potato and just finish the meal off with a bit of starch, mate.
Oh, mate.
Well, he'll probably do it, knowing him.
Is it nice?
What live stream? Well, I can start with what live stream we're doing tomorrow, which is Norwich versus Newcastle. I think we may even be doing the Merseyside derby, and then Arsenal.
Do you know what?
And then fuck knows what we're doing.
That it's even worse than the rat butties in Liverpool. It's even worse.
I don't even want to know. No, it doesn't start till 4 a.m. 4 a.m. stays up until now. You'll be lucky to say 4 a.m. It's probably about 7. But we move. Velve's just being weird in the chat. Just Velve doing Velve type things, really. We'll move on that, but we'll get started really because there's a lot to get into. We've still got to do Team of the Week and Forward of the Week. We've got a new segment where we're going to pick one person who is the Forward of the Week, and for this week, I think I know who's going to get it. First touch is fantastic, and he may be Italian. Also, pineapple on pizza. But we'll start off at the Emirates, where Arsenal have worked their way into somewhat being spoken as a big club. They managed to beat struggling Newcastle 2-0. Tyler, Arsenal, how do you view them this season? Are you viewing them as top 4 contenders, or should they be looking at trying to get top 6 maximum? Tyler? That's just going very well straight away. What about you, Paul? Same question.
So I don't know. I mean, they're definitely doing better than they were last year, weren't they? The form's been not iffy, but the form's been fairly decent. I mean, well, until they came to Liverpool last week, but I won't boast about that too much. But yeah, I mean, it's Arteta's third season. Second season, is it? Or like 2.5? I don't know.
2.5.
But I mean,
he took over in December, I believe.
they're definitely on. Yeah, I'm just got it up here. The 5th in the league, played 13, won 7, drawn 2, lost 4. I mean it's decent. They're definitely up there. I don't know about top 4. That's a bit of a tough one. I think we'll in the next month or so kind of give us a better idea about that. But they'll be back in Europe regardless, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair statement. Well, Kenny ain't going to get to talk about Arsenal. He's going to talk about Newcastle. But I'll go to Russ. Obviously, you're somewhat rivals with this club. I don't know if you consider them as rivals anymore. But what's your thoughts of Arsenal this season? Are they back?
They're playing well at the moment. I think if you ignore the Liverpool game, which is probably fair to do because, Liverpool versus Arsenal, I don't think anyone expected them to win that game, to be perfectly honest.
I didn't expect us to kind of like wipe them off the floor like that, though. I thought it'd be more of a tough game. I mean, coming out of the West Ham game and then facing like quite an informed Arsenal, I thought. I wasn't the most confident person.
I think it was always going to be a big test for Arsenal, and obviously, they failed it pretty miserably. But I think, if you exclude the Liverpool game, they're playing well at the moment. They're on form. I think top 4, no, not for me. I think, with United getting a new manager, I can see them starting to kick on. And, they're not touching Chelsea, City or Liverpool. So I think it's going to be them and United scrapping that top 4, but I don't see them getting it over United either, to be honest with you. The squad's coming together.
West Ham might want to have a...
West Ham as well. I struggle to see if West Ham carry on the way they are. I can't see Arsenal overtaking them either, to be honest with you. But I don't know. There's upsides for them to look at the moment. I think their fullbacks are playing quite well. I think Nuno Tavares is doing pretty well in the absence of Kieran Tierney. I think Tomiyasu is a massive upgrade on Hector Bellerin, but I'd probably be a massive upgrade on Hector Bellerin, so that's not saying too much. But no, I mean, you see flashes of what Arteta wants them to do. You saw it in the first goal of the Newcastle game. It was a good team goal. It was, reminded me of like the old Arsenal, that sort of brilliant team play goal. Everyone's getting a touch of the ball and they're flicking it. The interplay was really good for that goal. But like I say, it comes in dribs and drabs for them. One minute they can look like that, and then the next minute they're an absolute mess. So I mean, I don't see them getting top 4. I think top 6 is a possibility for them. But I'll be interested to see how the rest of the season goes for them, to be honest.
Yeah, it's about that consistency. But Kenny, talk to me about Newcastle, because they're the richest club in the world now, but they can't spend that money until January. Eddie Howe's come in. I don't want to say Eddie Howe was the wrong appointment, but I don't think he'd have been top of their list, if I'm being honest with you. I think there would have been managers way above him in terms of pedigree. Do you see any hope at all for Newcastle? Okay, you've got a big game tomorrow. It's why we're covering Norwich Newcastle, because I sort of feel like if Newcastle don't win that game, unless there is some serious investment in January, and I mean serious, we're talking big money moves, I don't see Newcastle staying in the league, let alone, having this money a fight for a Premier League title in 5-10 years' time. It's certainly a long project for these owners, isn't it?
Yeah, listen, I have got something to say about Newcastle, and it's that their performances have just gotten worse and worse season after season, and it's mainly, I think, because that atmosphere that used to have it just completely gone, and really, you only have really two good players, which is St. Maxwell and Callum Wilson. They built them out last season, maybe, yeah, but they only really built them out because they just come back from injury and they were fully fit, fully raring to go. This season, they're getting as we go to the Christmas period, especially. They're gonna get tired. They're gonna get fatigued, and ultimately Newcastle are gonna suffer. Their next two games are Norwich at home and Burnley at home, and I don't see them winning either of them because I think Newcastle right now just look completely awful. They look completely out of it. The only games that we got points from are games where like Leeds, Watford, where the other team just misses a flurry of chances and Newcastle get really lucky. But especially Leeds. Leeds had 22 shots that game and had 9 shots on target. That Newcastle are just really poor at the moment, and it's because they only have 2 real good players, and they're getting fatigued, and it's just it's not working at all for Newcastle. I had something to say about Arsenal, but if you just want to move on, then it's fine.
If it's going to be sensible, please do. If it's not, then don't.
It was just about the reason I don't think Arsenal are at top 4 and the reason I think they'll struggle to get Europe, and it's because of the fact that I think most of Arsenal's wins this season, it's not just that they win against both sides. That's not what I'm going to say, but it's because I'm going to give you some examples. There's Norwich 1-0, Burnley 1-0, or Watford 1-0, Newcastle 2-0. These aren't very good scorelines because they don't perform well. They get lucky wins just because they have what?
To counter that, last season they were games they would have drawn or lost, and they finished 8th. So, to beat Burnley 1-0 when at the Emirates last season they lost 1-0 and they drew 1-1 at Turf Moor. I mean, to counter that argument, getting those wins is actually quite crucial because last season they would have just dropped points in those games and they wouldn't have picked up the 3 points because performances don't really matter. I mean, you can go score 9 goals in one game and that's cool. You'll improve your goal difference, but you won't get any more points for it. But you score one goal, you still get 3 points for it.
I thought my point.
Go on, I agree with you there, Niall. I mean, you can only look at the likes of Man United a while ago, Arsenal. They used to be known as boring Arsenal because like they'd scrape the 1-0, 2-0 wins under the notorious George Graham. But every league champion, and I'm not saying Arsenal league champions by the way, but like just reiterating the point that these wins are important, although they're not flashy 4-1, 3-1 wins. I understand
the amount of times Fergie would win by 1 goal. It would be
exactly. Yeah, I understand what Kenny's saying, and it is. You probably watch a few more Arsenal games than me, but it does depend on how they play, or like how they perform on the pitch, whether they can be looked upon as good, like decent, well-earned wins, or lucky scrapes.
My point
but Kenny, your point has just been disproven. So you.
Yeah, but my point was that I just don't think it's sustainable for Arsenal getting sort of.
Well, okay. Do you go have that conversation with Fergie, and we'll see if it was sustainable back then.
No, but Fergie.
Well, no, Kenny, you've just lost your argument. Because we've literally just proven that all of the best teams, Liverpool in their title-winning season, won many games by 1-goal margins. City have done the same. Chelsea are doing the same. It's not about playing this free, expansive football, which most of you FIFA lot love to do. It's like, I don't know what happened to football. I really don't get it. But all of this FIFA crap of, you need to play lovely attacking football, score lots of goals and all of this. That's complete bullshit. Go speak to Alex Ferguson, and he will literally tell you he scraped many one goal wins. Mourinho was a prime example of it. Conte. We're talking some of the best managers in the Premier League who have literally won games by 1-goal margin. You cannot
Rafa
win every
Benitez,
game.
although he didn't
Yeah,
win us the title. But
But you can't win every game by a huge margin because that's not sustainable.
I think in general
Yeah.
these days there's too much of a focus on teams playing, good-looking football. When at the end of the day, football is, all the best managers will tell you football is a results-based business. Doesn't matter if you win by 1 goal or you win by 6 goals. It's worth 3 points at the end of the day, and that is what matters more than anything else. Is the numbers at the end of the table, in that points column. All right, your goal difference could make the difference in the end in a close title race, but at the end of the day, if you want to be in a title race, you need those 3 points. No matter how you win them, you got to win them.
Yeah, nice. I blame FIFA. I genuinely don't.
But it's
Not
not
FIFA as in not FIFA the organisation. I mean FIFA the video game. Because to be frankly
No,
honest,
it's not. I did
this
read
crap never happened years ago. No one ever mentioned Fergie winning 1-0 as a bad result and unsustainable. Jesus Christ, should have been slapped. If you said that Fergie winning 1-0 was unsustainable, you would have been absolutely battered blue by flaming United fans. You'd have been massacred. So, Kenny, your point is irrelevant.
Thank you, Velv.
When they kept finishing 6th, but it's gone.
The goat has returned. Yeah, cool. I mean, I don't really know who you are, Lionel Messi. Lewandowski robbed. Well, I've mentioned my thoughts on the thing already. But yeah, Tyler, we'll try you one more time. If it don't work, then jump in the comments if you want. But are you there? Okay. Yeah. Cool. Moving on. We'll go to our next game, which was Selhurst Park. Vieira's Crystal Palace lost to Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa. Paul, Stevie G, we'll get you to talk about Stevie G. Manager bounce, or is there something more substantial about this couple of games?
what do you mean by manager bounce?
Well, he's a brand new manager, just come into a club. Normally, when that happens, there's a bit of a manager bounce where they get a few wins under their belt.
Oh yeah, I mean, but it was this game, wasn't it? And then what was the last result that they had?
Beat Brighton 2-0.
Beat Brighton 2-0. I mean, they're both quite decent results. I mean, it's good to start off winning because it instantly gets the fans like swaying on the manager's side a little bit. But there's nothing to say that it will carry on indefinitely. Like it could well be a manager bounce, but but it's still really decent win for Gerrard and Villa. Like, I mean, I'm happy for him. I thought that was a great appointment and a great step up, to be honest. Although he done really well in Rangers, but now he's got a appointment at a massive historical club in the best league in the world. And I mean, it's a great opportunity.
I will say, though, he probably want to avoid Scotland for holidays because he's not quite the favourite person in Rangers right now. Now, leaving Rangers was fine, but to say a couple of weeks ago or a couple of weeks before he was leaving, don't ask stupid questions. Well, that's really grated on a few, but they've brought in Van Ginkhorst or Bronkhorst, former Rangers player.
I don't know why Rangers fans are giving stick, really, though.
Well, but because I mean, Paul, I would do exactly that. I would do exactly the same if Ryan Lowe said, "I'm happy at Argyle. Don't ask stupid questions," and then 2 weeks later fucked off to another.
Oh, is that what he said? Is that what Gerrard said?
I was going to say it's more to do with his comments. Gerrard, sort of made out like he wasn't going anywhere, and then all of a sudden he was gone.
it's not about leaving. Of course, he had to move away from Rangers, but it's about the comments, right? It's about saying, if he had said, look, I'm the Rangers manager at this moment and I'm happy here, that's fine. That's all he needs to say. But in terms of don't ask stupid questions and basically as acting as if he's staying there for the rest of the season, because to leave midway through a season can really derail the leaving team as well, especially considering he's taken all of his
enough there,
coaches
Niall.
with him. So
I wasn't aware that he actually said that. To be
Gerrard,
honest, that's a bit.
yeah,
That's definitely controversial. Like, so.
He's as I say, he may want to avoid going to Scotland for holidays this year. But Russ, Patrick Vieira though, I want to talk about him because everyone thought he'd be the first to be sacked. He had no hope. Was never going to last in the Prem. He's doing an all right job, isn't he? Obviously, it was a tough job as well. Let's not forget, because Roy Hodgson had been there for so long. His methods, his identity was all over that Palace team, and they sort of had to rip up that sort of blueprint and sort of remake a brand new one, which Vieira wants to do. But he's doing a great job, I think.
Yeah, I think they're getting a lot of draws, but you got to take whatever points you can get. And like you say, when you're a new manager coming into the Premier League, you've especially got to take whatever points you can get. And like you say, it's not an easy job. Roy Hodgson, it was his team, like you say, it was his team all over, and he hasn't Vieira he didn't exactly get a chance to revamp the squad and pick players that he might necessarily want. They've got a couple of little gems over there. Zaha on his day is a very good player, and you have got players that can dig you out of a hole if you need to. But it's not, the most amazing squad. So I think overall he's not doing a terrible job. I think they didn't play great against Villa, to be honest with you. But I think the match was lost and won in the midfield. And just to go back to Gerrard for a minute, I think that's one thing that you can sort of see an instant difference, which is unsurprising because he's Steven Gerrard. If there's one thing that he knows about football, it's being a midfielder. And you can see straight away the midfield in Villa, energy, pressing, that they're winning second balls left, right, and centre. And I think that was where the match was lost for Palace. To be honest with you, I think John McGinn looks quality at the moment, and I think even he spoke after the game and he said that Gerrard's been talking to him about positions that he should be in and where he wants him on the pitch, when he wants him to move into the box and things like that, and you can see it straight away. He got himself a goal. It was a beautiful goal, by the way. It was a cracking technique from John McGinn. But I don't think Vieira's doing a bad job. Like you say, especially I don't think the expectations for him were amazingly high in the first place. But I think he's doing all right overall.
Eze's still injured as well, so he's still got Eze to come back. He's got Benteke somewhat firing as well, which I don't think Roy Hodgson.
Yeah, there was one point in that game where Benteke waltzed through the Aston Villa defence, and I think it was Tyrone Mings managed to take him off the ball right at the last second, but he absolutely walked through the Aston Villa defence.
Yeah,
and
like
you say, Benteke is one of those players. If you can get him firing, he'll get you goals. But he's such an up and down player, Benteke.
Yeah, he's a bit mad, isn't it? Eze did come back now. He came on as a sub. Well, that is, I just Palace have just added a little bit more talent there as well. Then because. I think Eze was a huge miss for them. He was out since January last year. He's been away for a long time. Obviously, it's going to take him a while to get back up to match sharpness and match fitness. But boy, when you've got the likes of Conor Gallagher, Eze, Zaha, Edouard, Benteke, you have still got some bloody good talent there. So I think Palace will be all right. I think they're definitely not one that I'm worried about in terms of relegation. There's a few others that I'm petrified for, Newcastle definitely being one of them. But Kenny, any other thoughts on this? I presume Villa only won this by a 1-goal margin, so it's not really sustainable.
No, that's not what I meant by Arsenal. It was because Arsenal is shit. I just thought Arsenal just looked like we did when we finished in 6th. But on this game, I think Vieira is doing a very good job. He's got this Palace side, and with the plays he's got, he's playing the exact way that they need, and they're playing very well at the moment. On Villa, well, of course we have to wait to see if there's a new manager. I mean, we've only been 2 games, but for the few times I did see Rangers last season, in the Europa League, maybe. They looked okay. They looked okay. But they didn't look like out of this world. So I just presume that they're going to finish where they somewhere around where they are now. Palace's ambitions. Honestly, you could see them maybe pushing for Europa Conference League spot because they're only 3 points off right now. Then Vieira, he's got this Palace side firing now. The only thing that concerns me is a little bit is the defense is a bit leaky. The defense is a bit leaky. They conceded 19 goals, but their attack is really, really, really firing. From what I've seen, they're got Benteke playing well, of course, as well.
Well, for elite defence, they're on 0 goal difference, which, you know, for a team mid-table, that's probably what you'd expect. In terms
I will say their man marking for the corner that Matt Targett scored from was very poor.
That's not the first time, is it? I remember
Matt Targett was just stood in the middle of their box, wide open.
Yeah. It was Arsenal as well, wasn't it? The Emirates, where it was poor from a set piece, and that's what.
Yeah, I think that's something they definitely need to work on.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there. In terms of Villa, though, Kenny, you say they should think they'll finish 13th. I think they should finish above Brentford, Palace. You'd argue even Leicester on their current form. So I think there's still a bit more to come. I still think there's a bit more to come from this Villa side.
Around there. I think around there. But
mid-table in their first season without Jack Grealish, mind you, is probably a bloody good sort of, you know, reaction. Yeah, let's move on because I want to move on to Kenny's gone. I want to move on to Liverpool. Kenny probably knew this was the next match up. Paul, talk us through this one because I don't like Southampton, but I have reasons. If you know, you know. If you're not a fan, you'll probably know. But it's always nice to see them get battered everywhere they go. So well done, and talk us through the game.
Great. No complaints apart from maybe Southampton got through a couple times. Konate should have done better with he let a ball go at one point early on in the game, which I think he should have done better with. But apart from that, I thought we absolutely rolled them over. Dominant game. What I'd expect from a Liverpool side, hoping with league title aspirations. I missed the first goal, to be honest, because we were still getting, we'd gone somewhere and we were getting in. And
it was 2 minutes. It was 2 minutes into the game, so that is understandable.
No, but yeah, watch that back. Lovely ball through to Robertson, and Robertson just had to square it like that a couple times. Thiago's goal was quality. Lovely ball in. God, sorry. Lovely ball in from Trent Alexander-Arnold for Thiago's goal as well. I know it didn't reach a certain player, but I mean for the rebound, Thiago just on his own, just a little swivel and goes in. I think that was lovely, although it did take a deflection. And then the Van Dijk goal was really nice as well. I thought he drove that really, really well. Oh, I think it's Romeo marking him. Romeo should do much better. He's not really.
I think the goalkeeper should have done a lot better on that as well. To be fair,
Van Dijk doesn't have to do much to get the better side of Romeo, and yeah, Jota scored a brace, didn't he? But yeah, overall a really lovely Liverpool game.
Yeah, it makes things a little tighter at the top as well. Only 2 points separating the top three. Obviously, we'll get into the other two in a bit. But Russ, being title contenders with these lot as well, 4-0 over Southampton. That's not a bad result to have. Obviously, Jota with the brace, and as Tyler says here, it was just easy. And Thiago scored. Wolf not happy with Liverpool. And what a game, blood. We grilled Southampton with the George 4, man. That's just brutal. That is just brutal. But what have you made of Liverpool so far?
I mean, yeah, what can you say? You know, when they're playing well, they're a very hard team to stop. You know, and especially when you got players like Salah and Jota firing all cylinders. I thought Mane looked pretty decent. You know, I think he's had a pretty tough time over the last year. Mane, his form's definitely dipped a lot, but I thought Mane looked pretty sharp. Salah, as always, you know, I mean, does he ever not look sharp? And you know, if they can get Jota in that lineup regularly, they're going to be just pouring out goals left, right, and centre. You know, Thiago is finally starting to sort of slot in nicely, showing some of those qualities that, you know, the reasons that they brought him. Not just the goal. You know, I thought he controlled the midfield very well. He was quick. I think he was very lucky at one point in the game. He gave the ball away right outside his own penalty area when it was still 1-0, I think, at the time.
Yeah, about that as well. I thought Alisson did really well to
Alisson
came out of his box like a wizard.
Reacted perfectly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, you know, I thought that was just Thiago got very lucky there that Alisson was quick off his line. But other than that, no, yeah, Thiago, he had a good game. Like I say, he controlled the midfield well.
It wasn't Thiago, was it? It was Konate.
I'm sure it was Thiago.
It was Konate. I think it was Konate. You know.
Either way, it was a bit of good work from Alisson though.
It was. The Virgil goal. I mean, it was a good goal, but like you say, Romeo has to do better. You know, he let Virgil go so easily, and the goalie as well. The goalie's got to do better. It was pretty much straight at him, to be honest with you. You know, I'm sure Virgil's got a nice bit of power behind his shot, but you can't be letting goals go straight through you like that. But like I say, I mean, in general, they're a hard team to stop. You know, I thought Southampton, they were quite sloppy. They kept getting caught out a lot on the break. And I mean, a lot of teams get caught out on the break by Liverpool because, you know, they're quick. They move the ball quickly. They send players up the field, and you know, it's hard to stop them. But I was a bit surprised at Southampton, like sort of how sloppy they were defensively.
I've just received confirmation from a source. It was indeed Thiago, so I do apologise.
I thought it was. I did think it was, but you know, he got away with it. But like I say, he had a good game anyway. To be honest with you, it was one mistake, and he didn't get punished for it, unlike my team. But I thought
we'll talk about Italians later.
I thought Bednarek was very lucky not to be sent off. You know,
I see you got a yellow card.
I thought the Bednarek challenge for me was a red card, to be honest. But no, they played well. You know, what can you say? It's Liverpool. You know, when they're firing, they're a very difficult team to stop.
Yeah, absolutely. Vel says, I would like to apologise to Hassan and his wife this week. It made me realise I did what I did was wrong. Unbelievable. What is FIFA? Loyalty boy. RJ's in the chat. There we go. A normal comment. RJ in the chat says, hello lads, damn Russ, nice setup. Absolutely. It was Thiago passed it back. Anthony Dazzer's here, Anthony Martial. I don't know a lad in the middle of Niall and Russ, but it's three smart people and Kenny's Jake Kenny. Respect Kenny, maybe. This award is disgrace. How is Jorginho top 3? Did he get top 3? Oh wow.
Yeah, he got 3rd.
Wow. I say nothing. But Kenny, anything to add on this, or has everything been pretty much covered?
Just on Southampton, they really look doomed. Even when they were playing well, they did get. I know they got a draw against United and City, but really, realistically, Armstrong missed a chance, and City, I think they missed a big chance.
Yeah, Armstrong had a massive chance that he messed up.
Yeah, I mean, it was just they needed to win one of those games.
Yeah, Armstrong should have had a goal.
Yeah, they were playing well at the start of the season, but now they've fallen a lot, and yeah, they look doomed at the moment. That's all I have to say.
Okay, I wouldn't say doomed, but I think there's room for improvement, shall we say? Because I think Livramento, he's gone a bit quiet as well over the last few games. So maybe but that happens with young players, mind you. I'm not slamming Livramento here. Just saying that young players go through patches of form. Saw it with Mason Greenwood last season, and well, now he has to play with Ronaldo, so it's permanent lack of form. But it's one of them. I'm convinced Kenny lives in a cave with his fire on for probably. But moving on, because our next game is Carrow. Even though this is a 0-0, I know, right? Even though this was a 0-0, do you know what? I thought Norwich did very well because, and this has gone really unnoticed. Wolverhampton Wanderers are 6th right now. Right, so that has gone so unnoticed because United have been so shit. Everyone's focused on United and Ollie and new manager and all that it has completely gone unnoticed. The Wolverhampton Wanderers are sitting 6th with Bruno Lage in charge. So for Norwich to take a point against Wolves is a bloody good result. And there was one player for Norwich, because I did watch bits of this game, that I thought had a brilliant game, and that was in fact Brandon Williams and Billy Gilmour. I think those two under Dean Smith have had they've been revolutionised, because under Daniel Farke he had this thing of, I'm going to get in a couple of loan players and then I'm just absolutely not going to use them. I'm just going to scapegoat. Whereas Dean Smith has sort of come in and he's gone, I like Brandon Williams at left back, because I thought Brandon, he cut out possession a lot. He did the simple stuff well. He played the ball forward. His tackling was on point. He had an exceptional game at left back. Billy Gilmour, we know what Billy Gilmour is going to offer you in midfield. He's one that's going to progress that ball forward. He's determined. Billy Gilmour for me he's a bit like Brandon Williams in terms of the tenacity, the work rate, the energy. He's got everything you want in a midfielder. He just needs that game time. And Brandon Williams as well, I thought he was exceptional. And I've said this before, and I'm going to continue saying this. I actually think Brandon Williams is a better wing back than Wan-Bissaka, and I maintain that. And I don't care what people say, because I think Wan-Bissaka has been shocking. I don't know if Dalot. I think Brandon Williams, and this is, I'm all about mad comments. I actually think Brandon Williams may be United's best right back. Their best right back is on loan at Norwich right now. That's all. That is how much I rate Wan-Bissaka, by the way, guys. So, but we'll talk about him later. But I don't rate Wan-Bissaka at all. But Paul, this game, talk to me about Wolves. Because I'm going to get Russ to talk about Norwich, because obviously Billy Gilmour and all that. But Bruno Lage, he's absolutely doing the dirty on the Premier League. He's never worked in the Premier League before, and he's just sort of flying unnoticed. I only spotted it about a couple of weeks ago. I can't lie, but he's doing bloody well.
Oh no, yeah, definitely. I mean, like they definitely made the right move. Definitely after after Nunes Espirito Santo left to join Tottenham, which didn't really go well. But the 6th in the league, as you said, it has gone largely unnoticed. But yeah, he's come from Benfica, I think it is, to Wolverhampton, come to a much more entertaining, much more physical, much more talented league than obviously no disrespect to the Portuguese league there, but yeah, no, he's doing really, really well.
Yeah, no, I hear that. No, Wolverhampton annoy me. There's just so many comments from everyone that it's hard to keep up with them all. We've got someone on Twitch as well, which says Minamino over.
Right, block him.
Minecraft swagger.
Yeah. Why is Kenny consistently getting critiqued by the comments? I mean, don't get me wrong. His opinions are horrific.
You start Anthony Martial. You're Anthony Martial.
Big up, Niall. You dropped this, Mustafa. Love to see it. But yeah, it's a bit mad. The comments are flying. Dylan says Brandon Williams was brilliant. Me and Niall have already discussed his brilliance. I know. I said that Brandon Williams was better than Wan-Bissaka, and it only took until after the Chelsea game for me to get a lovely message saying, I think you might be right, Niall, which wouldn't be the first time. But Russ, Billy Gilmour, absolutely doing bits for Dean Smith. Wasn't under Daniel Farke, but I guess when Daniel Farke also tries to play him as a DM, that's not quite going to help the situation either. But he's flying for Norwich now.
Yeah, well, it's hard to perform well on the bench, and
there's also that.
Daniel Farke, I don't know whether. Well, I don't know what the deal was, but how you've got a gem like Billy Gilmour sitting on your bench while you're losing game after game after game, and you just leave him sitting there to rot. You know, there was so much talk about Chelsea taking him back in January because he was getting no game time, and to me, it seems mad. You know, I don't know whether everyone sort of knows Billy Gilmour that well because he hasn't had loads of game time for us. But obviously, as a Chelsea fan, I've watched him, and you know, he's a brilliant player. And obviously, people are going to say, well, Chelsea fans are obviously going to say that. This kid is unreal. You know, he's had so many games where he's played him in big matches and he got man of the match. You know, he's done it against big teams, and he's a great young player. Well. And for me, how you've got, you know, how you've got a team like Norwich who were just losing constantly, and you're not using a player like that. It just blows my mind, you know, and it shows it straight away when Dean Smith's gone in there, and the first thing he's done is put Billy back in the lineup, and he runs the show in midfield, and you know, it's good to see him getting played again. You know, it's all Chelsea fans want to see is him getting game time, you know. And all right, it's not the greatest team, but for a young player's development, they don't have to be at the greatest team. You know, it's just about getting game time in the Premier League. That's all we need for him. You know, he's got the talent. We don't need him to be at some amazing team. He needs experience, and as long as he's playing in the Premier League, he's getting it. You know, but I think, yeah, Norwich. It's been what? It's like 2 games. Is that for Dean Smith?
Yeah, 2 games. He's unbeaten in 2, and Daniel Farke.
Yeah, this is the thing. You know, it's all right. You could argue that it's the new manager bounce, and it may well be to an extent. But to me, I thought they already looked so much better. And like you already touched on, Wolves seem to be flying under the radar this season. Nobody seems to have sort of noticed them creeping up the table bit by bit. I don't know if it's because they got off to a bit of a shaky start that everyone just sort of wrote them off and stopped worrying about them. But you know, they, like you said, they've crept up the table. I think they're sitting the 6th now. They're sitting above Tottenham, United, Leicester. They beat West Ham recently. They beat Aston Villa. They beat Everton. You know, Wolves, like you said, they're going under the radar and they're doing quite a good job this season. So for Norwich to go there and even get a draw, I think is a good result for them.
Yeah, No, 100%. And the whole new manager bounce, I'd agree with you if he wasn't making changes like, putting Billy Gilmour and Brandon Williams back into the starting 11.
Which is why I think it's not just that. You can see, like I said, I think, you can see the change in the team.
And
he seems like he's
using him
really
in the right way.
difference.
Because he tried playing Billy Gilmour as a 6, and I think if anyone has watched Billy Gilmour, firstly, his physique does not show a number 6. He's also a short ass, so that's not really going to benefit him. He's an 8, he's a box-to-box, and he's one that likes to progress the ball forward.
I agree.
So it's really one of them.
But I can see, he does have like some sort of aspects where you sort of think he's good at intercepting and he's quite good at reading the game and obviously he runs a lot, which is good in that sense. But like you said, I agree with you. I think you stick him in an 8 position and let him move up and down the pitch, and he will shine. I thought Max Aaron played well. He created good chance for himself. He nearly got a goal. I mean, the only thing I would say was Timu Pukki. He had quite a few chances in this game, and he snatched at a lot of them. I don't know.
That's just Timu Pukki, though, isn't he? He seems to do really well in the Championship, but absolutely appalling in the Premier League.
Yeah, but then was it start of last season when he come in and he was smashing goals?
Yeah. But that was first 7, didn't it? And
then he just sort of dropped off and just slowly sort of disappeared. But yeah, like I say, I thought he got quite a few good chances against Wolves the other day, and he snatched at quite a few of them. And he definitely they could have won the game quite easily.
Yeah, totally agree.
I think a draw is a good result anyway.
100%. Dylan says, very pretty Christmas tree on the right. Thank you. Should Chelsea bring Billy back? Well, I don't think now with Dean Smith there, I think he'll get adequate game time. Wolf says, Sue Niall. Billy is a quality player, but Norwich don't know his worth. Well, I think they do now. I think that's the key part. They do now with a new manager. He got man of the match versus England. Well, Daniel Farke was an absolute tool. He got man of the match versus England when there were the likes of Kane Grealish on the pitch. He's unreal. I would agree with that. Right. Just Velv normally in the chat being, Velv really. All right, lads. See ya. Big up everyone. Catch you in a bit, Wolf. Cheers for coming on. Or being in the chat. Shut up, lad. There we go. Can Norwich avoid the drop? I think they could, but Kenny, talk to me about Brandon Williams before we move on. What's your thoughts of him? Because I've watched, as I say, a fair bit under of Brandon at Norwich, and I watched specifically a composition of Brandon's bits against Norwich at Wolves. He was absolutely brilliant. But what do you make of him? Is he better than Wan-Bissaka?
Mate, I'm the biggest Wan-Bissaka agenda, me. What do you think? What do you think? But I think a lot of first of all, a lot of United fans wrote him off last season for no reason. When I'm not sure what he's supposed to do when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the manager, and it just played him. But I think he played 13 minutes the entire season. Apart from Carmack up, that is criminal for a fullback. We're big enough to be. He was just big enough the season before to be this next big thing to be. Hopefully, could be the next. What's it called? The next Patrick Evra, and it's big enough to that level, and then he just drops him for the entirety of the season. This season, he's shown for Norwich that he is a quality fullback. He's shown for Norwich that he is very, very good, and he got dropped by Daniel Farke for some weird reason. I don't know what. I don't know what Daniel Farke was thinking. He completely just lost his mind. But he played really well for Norwich this season, from what I've seen. Because he got in team of the week twice before, I think. Which honestly, he's been quality, and I'm really excited to see him back soon.
I think in terms of our team of the week, I think Brandon Williams and Max Aarons have both been in a couple of times, and it wouldn't surprise me if today we're looking at another repeat of one or both of them getting in, because I just think if you're able to keep Wolves out, and mind you, it's just Wolves are fucking, you know, Jimenez for goodness sake, and flaming Trincao and He Chan, who have all done brilliantly for Wolves this season. If you're able to keep them out, then you're doing a bloody good job. And to be frankly honest, Trincao was in Brandon Williams' back pocket all game, as was Semedo. That whole right-hand side of Wolves was basically nullified by Brandon Williams, and then Ruben Neves and Martinho were nullified by bloody Billy Gilmour and the others, and then obviously He Chan, Ain't Nuri and Roman Saiz were also shut down by Max Aaron. So it was a bloody good defensive performance from Norwich, and a point, as Russ said, against Wolves is a bloody good point, and you sort of run with it. And they've got Newcastle tomorrow. That's a huge game for Norwich. If they can get 3 points against Newcastle, that really I think that will put them above Burnley. And if Leeds lose, it'll put them above Leeds on. Well, no, it wouldn't put them above Leeds, but it would certainly, put them level on points. So it's going to be a bit of a mad one, but.
Also, could be
we're not spending too. Kenny, you're done. I just want to talk about a specific moment in this game because we'll drag it on forever if we carry on. Graham Potter, Brighton were booed off the pitch. He said in a press conference after, he completely disagrees with it. He also thinks he may need a history lesson on Brighton. Paul. Was it unfair to boo Brighton off the pitch when they're sitting at 8th in the Premier League right now?
I'm not a Brighton fan, but I didn't see the reason to boo. I mean, what was there a narrative behind it, or was it just
that they should have won the game? Probably, yeah. They just that they should have won
the
game. To be fair,
I didn't watch it. Did it look like a game that?
Well, Neil Maupay did have a bloody good chance with pretty much 2/3 of the goal open, and he's on the 6-yard box. And guess what? Neil Maupay does Neil Maupay things and chucks it wide or over the bar. I couldn't really remember. But Russ, what about you? Was it unfair?
I don't think they deserve to be booed off. I don't think they played particularly badly. I think it was just quite similar to the Chelsea game, and that they spurned a lot of chances. So I can understand the frustration. When you know that your team should have won a game, it is frustrating. Like you say, Maupay, he missed an absolute sitter. I mean, he had another good chance not long after that, which he missed again. Trossard hit the post. Especially in the first half, I thought that they spurned a lot of good chances, to be honest with you. Great to see Tariq Lamptey back.
I was just about to say, he was destroying Leeds single-handedly.
Lamptey, he's brilliant. I've always said he's a great player. It would have been nice to keep him at Chelsea, but same with him, Livramento. We had Reece James coming through at the same time, and they both want first team football, which is fair enough. You don't want to be a backup in the Premier League, and I understand that. But Lamptey's a great player. Obviously, he's just come back off an injury. It doesn't seem to have affected him, to be honest with you, because he waltzed back into this side and just ran the show. I thought he looked like he's such a threat going forward. But yeah, Maupay just, you have to bury them chances in a tight game like this. And then they nearly handed the fucking game to Leeds in the second half. They messed up and gave Leeds like a really good chance to score, which again was missed. It could have gone either way with the chances that happened in the game, but realistically, Brighton had the much better chances, and I think they could have walked out of there 2-3-0 up. So I understand the frustration of the fans, but did they deserve to get booed off the pitch? No, not really. It wasn't some awful display. They didn't get hammered by Leeds. It was a 0-0 where you probably should have scored, but you didn't. Okay, it's frustrating, But no, I don't think you should boo them off. I totally see why Graham Potter was annoyed at the fans because Brighton, they're not doing that badly at the moment.
No, it's that eighth. And
well, exactly. I mean, what are your expectations when you're at a club like Brighton? You can't expect them to be up there challenging for top six.
If they're not happy with 8th for us, then I'm assuming that they expect European football this year, which is a mad expectation.
This is what I don't understand. When you look at the teams that are in the Premier League, what more can you expect from them? I don't see them, getting any higher than 8th. He's working.
The issue is if the fans piss off Potter, we all know there are a wide range of clubs that would happily take Graham Potter. Right? United have only got Ralph Rangnick for the interim position. But what happens if Ralph goes, do you know what? Fuck this Pochettino guy. Don't really need Ten Hag. I want you to go get Graham Potter. Ralph Rangnick goes, we're getting Potter. And Brighton are then Graham Potter could be like, well, Brighton fans aren't happy of me finishing 8th with their mediocre team. Fuck it, I'll go to United.
This is the thing, I don't know if the Brighton fans understand quite how lucky they are to have this manager because, they're not getting anyone better. If he goes, you name me a better manager than Graham Potter that's going to take the Brighton job. Because there isn't one. There's not a better manager out there than Graham Potter that is going to accept the Brighton job. He's a cracking manager. And I think, you're not getting anything better out of this squad either. No matter who you bring in, like I say, you're not going to get a better manager than him. And even if you can get someone at a similar level, I struggle to see any manager getting much more out of this Brighton side than he is. I think if you gave him a clinical striker, they'd be laughing. Maupay.
They get him a clinical striker. They're in top 6.
Well, this is it. Maupay's for me, he's an average player. He's good on his day, but his day doesn't come around often enough. And you saw it in this game. He could have had 2, maybe even 3 goals, but he wasted his chances. And at the end, what can Graham Potter do other than set up his team to get those chances in the first place? And if they're creating these chances, then he's doing something right. He can't get on there and swing Maupay's leg at the fucking football for him.
Well,
so games like this, I think they show you that the system's working, but maybe some of the individual players aren't. And it's the same thing that happened in the Chelsea game. The manager can only do so much, and you can argue, they should have made changes here and there, fair enough. But like I said, the manager can only do so much in terms of setting up the team to create these chances in the first place. The manager can't take the chances for them. For the Brighton fans to boo Potter off the pitch, well, the players, I guess, more. I hope it was for the players more than the manager. But even then, it was just one of those games where they couldn't finish their chances. But like I said, they weren't awful. Your team didn't get battered. You didn't go there and watch your team lose 4-0 or, then I can understand you booing them off the pitch. But it's like you say, it seems mad to me because, like you say, if another club comes around and says, right, we want Graham Potter, well, then what are you going to do? If you piss him off so much that he goes, do you know what? The Brighton fans clearly don't care. They're all booing my team, I'll go. Then they're in a terrible situation.
I don't want this to sound biased as a Liverpool fan, but the way the Everton fans are away at Brentford on yesterday afternoon, I thought that was terrible. The way they all, because the Everton, I don't know whether you've seen it, but the Everton players went over to clap the travelling fans, and they just all stuck the 2 fingers up at them, and I was like,
to be fair, if I had just watched that performance from Everton, I'm probably going to stick my 2 fingers up at them as well.
I understand that, but personally,
not gonna lie, Everton.
You don't do that to you. You don't.
I've done it.
You're supposed to support your players.
I don't give a shit. My support can only go so far. If I've had it where Argyle have performed an absolute stinker for about 5 games in a row, and we've all just lost it and just absolutely gone for the players and manager at that point. We've done that. I mean, If I'd been seeing the performances that Everton have been serving up as a standard, then I would go for them. But we'll talk about Everton in just a second. Mustafa says he would love Lamptey at United. Niall, get Russ on more often. He's one decent Chelsea fan. Potter has done wonders at Brighton. Russ is right. He has. But I think Russ has pretty much touched on everything we need to talk about for Brighton there. Kenny would only just regurgitate some sort of crap from Russ's mouth. So we'll get Kenny to talk about. We'll get Kenny to talk about this. Ivan Toney, score from penalty spot. Brentford. See them staying up this year?
Yeah, I think they got in a bit of bad form. I do think they'll be dragged back into it. I don't think they'll. I think they're one of those clubs that they go in a few games good form, but they're gonna just go on really bad form for 1 point. So, for example, like a few years ago, just Brighton recently, 2 years ago. But yeah, I do see them staying up. Yeah, they look really good, Brentford. As for, I just want to touch on Everton quickly. They're bottom of the form table. They're doing awful at the moment. This is a club that's 3 points off 17, and they've got before Christmas they've got Liverpool, Arsenal, Palace, Chelsea, and Leicester. So they could be in the relegation zone by Christmas. I could definitely see why fans would abuse them off, because for a fact, I mean, they don't like Rafa Benitez anyway, of course. And the fact is, they're fourth. This is Everton, one of the biggest clubs in the Premier League, probably the 7th most followed club in the Premier League, just behind the Big Six. I mean, it's unacceptable for Everton, really, especially with that squad. That squad should not be. You should not be having shouts for that they're going to be in a relegation zone by Christmas. That's ultimately where you look.
I would argue that Richarlison's injured, Calvert-Lewin's injured. The board have backed fucking Rafa Benitez with Andre Gray, fucking Andros Townsend, and Solomon Rondon. So they've invested very little. I feel like they've almost, in essence, thrown Rafa under a bus already by not even bothering to invest in the team. I mean, the job was already hard enough for Rafa Benitez because he's got to somehow convince these Evertonians to believe in his idea, being a former Liverpool manager. He's now not been backed in the January transfer window apart from Solomon Rondon, and I do not class that as backing of a striker. Not Solomon. You pick him up from China. I mean, why was he in China? Probably because he was picking up a paycheck. And to be completely honest, he's not very good anymore, and he was barely good enough in the Prem before. So, you know, Andros Townsend's done well, but that was a free transfer. And Damari Gray was what, 2.5 million or some ridiculous small amount than that. So, you know, it's a tough one for Rafa. But Paul, Rafa's a former Liverpool manager. I'm going to have to ask the question, realistically, how long do Everton give Rafa? Because it is a results business, but he hasn't, judging from what I've just said, he's not been backed at all. But it will get to a point where Rafa will end up having to leave.
As a former Liverpool manager, he's already been played bad cards. But it's hard, to be honest. I think it's coming up to the middle of the season. He's still. I always say this when I go on a podcast. I always say this when I'm having a conversation about football. But every manager's kind of like a project. I don't see Everton getting rid as fast as they appointed. I see Rafa staying. He'll be given a chance through the January transfer window. See what he does there, and then he'll stay. He'll stay this season. Do you know what? I think he'll stay.
Judging from their summer transfer window, I wouldn't be Judging from their summer transfer window, I wouldn't be banking on a good January transfer window.
Unless they suffer a severe run of form, I don't think it's as.
Are they not already on a pretty severe run of form?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's true. I just think it's too early to to kind of rule out Benitez. And I'd say that about any manager, to be honest, not just Rafa Benitez. I think it's a project.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Beverly makes a good comment here. We're still struggling without DCL and Richarlison and stuck with Iwobi and Wondon masterclass. I'm still Rafa in. I'd give him till January for him to make some more signings. Russ, DCL with Richarlison, not having them in the team is going to impact quite heavily. That's probably the the equivalence of taking out Mane and Salah for Liverpool, to put it into a little context, because Richarlison and DCL are their two attackers. They're the two that are going to get you goals, and without them, and you've got Alex Iwobi and Solomon Rondon, the quality drop is quite severe. That is probably like taking out, Mason Greenwood and replacing him with myself.
It shows you that the depth is not good enough for a start. But at the same time, when they're losing a player like Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison needs to grow up and not get himself banned.
Well, he's banned.
Yeah, that's why he couldn't play against Brentford, because he's picked up so many bookings already.
Bloody already! I thought he was injured. Fuck my life!
And this is the thing, he's an important player for them. He's an even more important player for them when Calvert-Lewin is not able to play. So, they need him. But it just shows that, he needs to grow up and get rid of this sort of stroppy side that he's got. Because sometimes you watch Richarlison and he's like a petulant little child, and he needs to mature a lot and get on with things. And he's not helping his team by doing this. The fact that you're banned after 13, 14 games because you've already got so many yellow cards. As a forward, this guy, he's our forward. And he's picked up this many bookings by this point of the season. It's crazy.
Oh, I hear that.
But
I think
going back to what was said earlier about the Everton fans and giving the team stick. When was the last time they won a game? Was it? I think Norwich.
Maybe.
Was it Norwich?
No, that's true.
That's 7-8 games ago.
That's definitely true. I think that's just a personal point of view. I mean,
I wouldn't expect Liverpool fans to start. I wouldn't expect the cop to start putting their middle finger up to Liverpool players, but we run things slightly different in the south.
Obviously,
as Everton are.
I'm not saying go there and abuse your own team, but you've got to understand that their frustration. When you've gone,
I definitely understand Everton's frustrations as a team. They're not in a good place at the minute, but it's just all about what you see in a place. If I understand if you think that if people think that the players aren't given enough, but I mean if the players are going out there and trying to appease the fans, it's something I'd rule it unfair to.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't watch Everton enough to be able to judge whether or not I think their players are giving it their all, but obviously the results are poor. When you've gone 7-8 games without a win, your fans are gonna get frustrated, and it's understandable. Obviously, not like I said, I'm not saying go out there and start abusing your own team, but it's. I do understand their frustrations. It's especially when they've played games like this where, no offence to Brentford, but they're a beatable team for a team like Everton. They shouldn't. Everton need to win games like this. These are the sort of games where they need to pick up points.
I mean, going to Brentford, it was tough for Liverpool. We didn't have the.
Of course, yeah. But then, obviously, what I would say to that is that Brentford they're not in the same form that they were at that point.
4 games win.
Yeah, true.
You know, they had a 3-3 draw with Newcastle. You know, they couldn't beat Newcastle. They lost to Norwich. They lost to Burnley.
Yes.
That's the 3 games leading up to this game. They've lost to Burnley,
That's-
Norwich, and drew with Newcastle. Now, if you're looking at that Brentford team coming into that game and you're Everton, you know, they must have been licking their lips thinking, this is our chance to get 3 points on the board.
Yeah.
And
Ravi says,
again,
there's a lot of talk from Pepe Arsenal. Do you think he helps this team? Pepe from Arsenal?
I mean,
It's
I
just his
dunno.
end product, I think, with Nicolas Pepe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
I think his end product
We've seen-
lets him down, but on the
we've
ball,
seen it with-
technically, he's a good player, but it's just...
Yeah. Saw it with Lingard, though, didn't we? When he left United to go West Ham, he started balling. Do you reckon a change of scenery might help Pepe? Just the teams play differently against Everton. When
I mean,
if you're an
maybe,
Arsenal-
but
he's not
do
really
you
quick.
see Arsenal selling him for a reasonable price after they paid 72 million for him?
To be
You know-
fair,
you
I
know-
don't think Arsenal are too picky considering Arteta barely plays him. But Bev says the only player who's devastated to see the fans angry is Gordon. There's no passion in that team anymore. It all went after David Moyes. Therefore, Anthony Gordon is one that I do like. Anthony Gordon. I think he's got a bit about him. But we've still got to do Team of the Week, and we've still got a big game to talk about. So we'll gloss over this next one, which ended Leicester 4, Watford 2. You know, Leicester
By the
just
way, I think,
still leaking.
No mind.
Kenny,
I was just saying,
Kenny, I may have just said we've still got to do Team of the Week and we've still got a big game to talk about, but Kenny still wants to talk about that fucking game. Kenny, shush. So Leicester 4, Watford 2. Goals from Maddison, brace from Vardy, and Lookman with the goals there, and Watford still getting 2. So Leicester's defence still leaking goals more than I care to imagine. But this game also finished 2-1. It was where Man City 2, West Ham 1. The best goal was actually right at the end from Lanzini. What a bloody goal that was! You won't see a better goal for a while. And yeah, it was a Fernandinho mistake. He scores one, makes a mistake. He had quite an eventful 5 minutes since he came on the pitch. But I wanted to sort of speed through because there was this game at the end of the weekend. It was the Super Sunday finale, and it was Stamford Bridge, which was the host. And there's why Russ has decided to run away straight away. He knows what's coming up. But it did finish Chelsea 1, Manchester United 1. Liverpool have battered this lot 5-0. Man City have battered them 2-0 and given them a bit of an extra training session. Chelsea, on the other hand, couldn't. But I'm not going to lie, a lot of people saying Ralph Rangnick picked this team. I can assure you he did not. There's no way he's playing 3 defensive midfielders in that midfield and literally dropping that far back. I can assure you Ralph had no say in that team. Kenny, I'll go to you first because you know United did perform slightly better, and there is actually a chance that one of Fred or McTominay could get into Team of the Week, which is a fucking madness, if not both. And if McFred get into Team of the Week, it'll be the greatest day of our life. It'll be, I will just show where football is. But Kenny, you went there to get a point. I feel. I know Michael Carrick went. We went to be progressive. We went to with a game plan of getting 3 points. You never went for 3 points. You were hoping to hit them on the counter and keep them out. But what were your thoughts on the game?
Attempts, but it was just that friendship, and it was a really dumb penalty to give away. I was actually disappointed in the end. It wasn't because it's Chelsea, we should be beating Chelsea. It was mainly because it was a really dumb penalty to give away in the first place, and also Fred with that chip at the end, which is why I'm not going to back him for Team of the Week, just because the moment that could have won us the game really, and he flushed his lines, which is, and I know it's unfair really, but it's just. For me personally, United, but I can't after that. Just mentally, I can't. But I thought we played really well defensively for a change. I mean, I think Carrot, he is a defensive midfielder. He finally got the defense working a bit well. I think he's done his job for these 2 games. Maybe
he did put 3 defensive midfielders in to do one job, but yes, continue.
well, yeah, but mate, what do you expect? We have Lindelof, Bambai, and Bissaka all on the same defense, mate. Like this is not. Lindelof and Bambai, there's a start, they've not ever won a game when played together. So yeah, I can see why I was a bit scared. But yeah, I think it was a really good defensive performance. I think Carrick's really done. He's done his job for these 2 games, and potentially he might be in versus Arsenal maybe. But for now, I'm gonna say 2 games. He's done his job. He's got 4 points. He's got vital versus Real. But I mean, this game, I think Chelsea really they need to finish some chances. That's what the problem was against Burnley, and I've really seen it here. They just that really good chance at the end, for example. They get a load of chances. They just can't finish any. They can't finish. They do it.
Kenny, do you mind if I go to a Chelsea fan to talk about Chelsea, mate?
Yeah, I will. I was just saying, just can't finish.
You talk about your team. I'll get the Chelsea fan to talk about his team. Yeah, how's that sound? And then I'll get Paul to do an independent analysis. Anything you want to say on United before I go to Russ?
McTominay, they played okay. That's all.
Played okay. I thought he was man of the match, but Russ, Jorginho. We'll start. I want to start with the Italian, the pineapple on the pizza. What a first touch he had! What a touch! Oh, that was beautiful. Never have I seen a better touch in world football.
It was a big mistake, okay, and it cost us.
He allowed a 2-on-1 situation with Edouard, not with
like I said, mate. It was a big mistake, okay. It was a huge mistake, and it ended up costing us. But I think a lot of people have just picked on that and ignored the rest of the game. I don't think he played that badly.
I am English, so you can sort of understand why the English have gone for the Italian.
Of course, but I mean, overall, if you're going to look at him over the course of 90 minutes, he didn't have a particularly bad game. But unfortunately, when you do something like that, of course, it's going to overshadow the rest of your game. I think for me, why the fuck was Jorginho the last man back on a corner anyway? He's not quick. He's not the player that you want there in that situation. I don't understand why he was tasked with that job. Secondly, just fucking clear it. Just clear the ball when it comes down. Don't worry about taking a touch and trying to be fucking clever. Just hoof it, twat it back the way it came. I mean. Like I said, I don't think he played awfully the rest of the game. I thought he had a relatively decent game. Thank fuck he scored his penalty, because otherwise this would have been like disaster class of the year. That's all I can say. Is I could not watch the screen. I could not watch the screen when he took the penalty. I was like this. I was like, I could not watch it. But thank fuck he scored that, because oh my god. The shit he would have got, my God, but it just shows you what our fan base is like. One mistake and it's gone from Jorginho should win the Ballon d'Or to fuck's sake, Jorginho, get this guy out of my club. Rah, rah, rah. Like, it's a fuck up, okay? It's a big fuck up. But like I tweeted this earlier, right? I saw someone say one mistake cost us this game. It didn't. It was far from one mistake that cost us this game. We had so many fucking chances that we screwed up. Rudiger hit the crossbar. Rudiger tried to, for some reason, volley it in the last fucking dying seconds of the game. On his own, in acres of space in the box, can I add? more than enough time to take a touch, and bury it. He's a centre back. I don't expect him to score spectacular volleys, so it's no surprise to me that it flew fucking out of the stand. But my point was, he had so much time and space around him to take the ball down and shoot, and it's game over. Hudson-Odoi, 1-on-1 with De Gea, has to bury it. You have to bury that. If you're not going to bury it, you have to square it across the box to Timo Werner so that he can miss it as well. It's one or the other in that situation, isn't it? You have to square the ball, or you have to fucking bury it. If you make the decision to take that shot with a one-on-one, lift the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, lift it. All he's got to do is lift the ball, and that's a goal. But it's just another one of them games for Chelsea, and it's a bit of a pattern for us. We saw it, the exact same thing in the Burnley game, and that is chance after chance after chance after chance, and we're not finishing them. And it's not just Timo Werner; it's most of our front line. The fact that more of our goals have come from defenders than our forwards says a lot. And especially when your forwards have cost you how much fucking money? I mean, Jesus Christ! If you add up the cost of our strikers and our wingers, we're in the hundreds of millions. We're in the hundreds of millions.
Over 400.
Yet our right back,
100. You're near 500 million.
It wouldn't shock me. It honestly wouldn't. If you add up our wingers and our strikers, it wouldn't shock me. We're into the hundreds of millions. Most of these players are getting outscored.
Near on 200 million straight away.
Most of these players are getting outscored by a right back who's come out of Cobham and cost us fuck all. And something's got to change, because it's so frustrating. In the last two games, over the course of Burnley and Liverpool, we've had something like nearly 50 shots, and I think we put I don't know, I can't remember the exact statistics, but we've had something like 50 shots and about 10 on target. It's shocking. If you're getting paid hundreds of thousands of pounds a week to kick a ball at a fucking goal that is how many meters wide, and you can't even put it on target, what the fuck are you doing? Like, honestly, that game should have been dead and buried. We had multiple chances to kill off that game, and before you know it, bang, a mistake, and they're 1-0 up. And this is our problem, is that we have all these chances, but we're not clinical. And I've been saying this since last season. We need to be more clinical, and it's the same issues again and again and again.
Mendy tried giving it.
I don't know. Mendy fucking. I don't know what happened there. He lost his head for a second. But
it's Fred. He thought it was Fred. So.
Maybe that was what it is. It's only Fred. Fuck it.
Completely honest.
But I don't know. I think this is the thing, right? There was a couple of small periods in that game where all it reminded me of was us under Lampard, where we looked like we were panicking in our own zone, and we haven't looked like that for ages. But especially, I think it was at the start of the second half, there was a couple of times where United were pressing and our players were making mistakes and looking nervous on the ball. And it instantly reminded me, it took me back to, I haven't seen that since Lampard. Since Tuchel's come in, we played with so much confidence, passing the ball around. We played our way out of presses left, right and centre. And it was sort of, there was just a 5-10 minute period and then another little period later on where they were just sort of panicking when United players were pressing. And it was stressing me out so much, because I was like, I can't go back to watching my team do this. You know, just individual errors. That's a lot of the time. That was what was costing us games under Lampard, was individual fuck ups. And since Tuchel came in, we seem to have changed that. And our players are playing with a lot more confidence. And like I said, they play out of the press really well. And there was just a few moments in this game where we sort of lost all that. And players were making silly passes to other players who were under pressure, who were then making mistakes themselves because, you know, they're receiving the ball in shit situations. And, you know, you saw it with the Mendy thing. There was a couple of sort of passes there that shouldn't have happened. You know, if you're that worried in that situation, clear the ball, okay? Hoof it upfield. Let them deal with it. But, you know, overall, not clinical enough. That was our main issue. There was a couple of little periods where our defence was sloppy, but for me, the main problem was we weren't clinical enough. And I've been saying this since last season. We have to start taking our chances when we get them. You can't have 50 shots over the course of 2 games and score 2 goals. That's so poor. And especially for a team like us, you know, we have to be burying more chances. And was it a pen?
Was it a pen? It was a soft pen, but it was
like
it was a soft pen, but it was really stupid of Wan-Bissaka.
You know,
it was stupid from Wan-Bissaka. Werner, how many chances? It wasn't just Werner. It wasn't just Werner.
No, this is the thing. This
Chelsea
is what I've
did
been
miss
saying.
GoloKante.
It wasn't just Werner. It was there were so many people who missed good chances in that game.
Paul, as a neutral, you must have loved watching this because this is almost a perfect result for you. I mean, what would have made it perfect for you if United had won this? Because let's be fair, I don't think anyone here is sitting here saying United are title contenders. They're top 4 contenders again.
Oh, I was definitely hoping I was secretly hoping for Ronaldo to come on and score the winner, but I'll never secretly hope that again.
No. Well, it's okay because Ronaldo is now finished under Rangnick, and I'll give my reasons in the United show why. Well, Kenny, if you know Ralph Rangnick, you'll know that Ronaldo is absolutely gone in January or the summer. So get prepared. Mason Greenwood has the keys to Old Trafford now because Rangnick likes young players. So the likes of Sancho, Donny, Greenwood, Rashford, they're going to be important. But Paul is not that. I was literally about to go, Paul. That is unfortunate. Tyler says, Sue. Hopefully Paul will rejoin us because that's that really. We'll give Paul a minute to get back before. If not, we're doing Team of the Week, which should be interesting with the 3 of us. But it is one of them. And talking of him, here he is. Paul is back. I'm glad you came back because I was literally about to come back. I was literally about to go to you as a neutral. What did you think of this game?
I was thoroughly entertained. I mean, to be fair, I only watched the second half, but that Jorginho should have done well better. He's a Ballon d'Or contender. He can't be making mistakes like that on the ball. It was entertaining. I think both sides. Man United. I remember a few times watching them on the attack with Rashford. It was like a whole new Man United. One that I hadn't seen in a good while. And they got the goal, and they were fired up. And then Chelsea equalised, and it looked like a very, very even game after that. Before Chelsea had equalised, I was thinking it'd be a United win because they seemed to be the ones with all the energy and all the drive. But personally, nice, good game, good result for us. I mean, we're still not. It's not like we're top or anything, but it's these small things that eventually add up in the end. But I think an elephant just kind of tried to join the podcast then. I haven't got too much to add. Like,
Well, you sort of led us in perfectly to league table, Paul. So cheers for that, mate. Because I don't have to do it. As you can see, Chelsea do rest at the top, but only by 2 points now, with gap to Liverpool, point to City. West Ham, even though they lost, still maintain fourth, but Arsenal could get that if they beat United and West Ham lose. United still out of Europe. Still out of Europe in 8th position. I do jump above Brighton, though, with their draw, or they were already above Brighton. But at the bottom, as you can see, Newcastle, Norwich and Burnley both on the 9 points. But Norwich are going to have to start working down that goal difference for a start. -20. That's a fucking joke. So they're going to want to sort that out quite sharpish, for sure. And the rest, as you can see, is on the screen. Spurs and Burnley did not play at the weekend. That game was postponed due to snow. But that being said, it is time to do our famous team of so as I just get that set up, we're also going to do forward of the week, something brand new that will be posted on our Twitter page as well. But don't forget, on Christmas Day, actually, whilst we aren't I clever? There we go. A really clever lad. Oh dear. There we go. But yeah, on Christmas Day, we are going to be doing a watch along of 2 old games from the Premier League. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that. I'll be seeing my father and the rest of the family in the evening, so they don't ruin too much of my Christmas Day. So I'm going to spend a bit of that time with you, because not everyone has someone to celebrate Christmas with, and not everyone celebrates Christmas. So we're going to do a little something special on Christmas Day. So 2 watch-alongs, one after the other, which should be an absolute great one. But it is that time to do Team of the Week. Now, obviously, it's the normal 4-3-3. Russ hopefully will also join us as well for this, but we'll start with the goalkeeper. Paul, who do you want to give goalkeeper of the week to?
Probably going to sound biased, but I'll say Alisson.
Did he even have to do anything?
Exactly.
Kenny, who are you going? Who are you going for goalkeeper of the week?
Ramsdale.
Same question to Paul. Did he have to do anything this week against Newcastle? I'm not sure. I didn't watch the game. Russ, what about you? Who are you going for goalkeeper of the week?
I thought Meslier was quite good, to be fair.
I was just about to say he was a cracking. He was a cracking.
Brentford's goalie. What's Fernandez? Is it?
Oh, Raya.
I thought he was.
Is it Raya?
Pretty good. Yeah, I'll probably go for Meslier, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would go for Elan Meslier as well. He had a job to do. He had a job to do to keep that clean sheet for sure.
Guys, I think I'll have to head off. I'm sorry. But
not a problem,
thanks
mate.
again for having me on, Niall.
Not a problem. I'll catch you in a bit,
Enjoy
right?
the rest. For the rest of the team of the week, Robbo, Matip, nah, mate. Go on, see you in a bit. Ta-ra.
Have a good one, mate. Have a good one. For the right back one, I'll start us off. I'm going to say Max Aarons. I can't think of any. I can't think of many right back. I mean, Reece James had a not his greatest game of all time. I'm going to say Max Aarons at right back. Kenny, what about you?
Yeah, go on. Aarons was good.
Okay, Russ.
Lamptey, Tarek Lamptey.
And that is Max Aarons. Well, Kenny went Max Aarons, so Max Aarons gets in.
Max Aarons had a good game, but
Lamptey played right wing, mate. He wasn't a right back, mate.
Well,
he wasn't a right. He's probably my vote for right wing because he spent no time at right back. He was there right winger, mate. Potter Potter lined up with a 5 at the back, but then quickly changed that to Lamptey playing right mid. So, I mean, you could put Lamptey further up, I feel, because I do agree, though, he was absolutely bossing it. Left back, we'll do left back before we work out centre backs. Left back, I'm gonna go keep it Norwich. I'm gonna say Brandon Williams. I thought he was absolutely superb against Wolves. Shut their right side down like fire. What about you? Russ?
I thought Robertson had quite a good game. Andy Robertson.
Yeah.
Cucurella was good.
He was decent as well. Yeah.
I'll probably give my vote to Andy Robertson, to be honest with you.
What about Tyler says De Gea with Tomiyasu at right back. He's gone Virgil and Lindelof at centre back. Kenny, left back though. Who are you going for?
Yeah, it's Brandon Williams, and that actually could be United's future fullback. Brandon Williams and Aaron's.
It could be, certainly. But Brandon Williams gets in there. So Norwich have occupied the wing backs, which you thought you wouldn't be saying that at the start of the season. But centre backs, Lindelof is getting a vote for me. I'm going to vote Lindelof. And the other one, fucking hell.
By
He had a good game. He did have a good game.
I thought Bailly was probably better than Lindelof, to be honest.
I'm just going to be. I'm just going to go Bailly Lindelof. I mean, they actually did quite a good job. But Russ, what about you?
I'd probably say Bailly as well. To be fair, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be biased. I would say Bailly, but I would put Van Dijk in over Lindelof.
That's a good shout. Actually, yeah, I'll go. I'll wait for Kenny. Kenny, who are you picking as centre backs?
Oh God, you're gonna go Van Dijk, aren't you? Yeah,
I'm just tossing and turning between Lindelof and Van Dijk. To be fair,
I thought Lindelof was really good, and Van Dijk. I mean, I think Chelsea's a much more tougher opposition than Southampton.
It doesn't matter about opposition, Kenny. It's about player performance.
Well, he played well. To be fair, both of them played well. I got Lindelof, but there's bias getting in the way a bit.
Do you know what? I'm just gonna go Lindelof. Actually,
Come on! You've got Bailly.
Yeah, we actually got United players in for once on the centre backs.
You've got
it's
actually
a
come on.
I can't be a part of this. They played my fucking team, Niall. Come on, give me a break. I've given you Bailly. I've said Bailly. I can't have two United centre backs against Chelsea, for fuck's sake.
You might get Werner up top if you're lucky. You got to admit, United centre backs were actually quite good. And
Van Dijk had a good game.
Yeah, Van Dijk did have a good game. I will give you that. Central midfield. I'm gonna say two names. So I'm gonna choose Billy Gilmour and Scott McTominay as my first two.
Yeah.
I'm not picking Fred. Don't worry, I'm not picking Fred.
Yes.
I'm gonna go John McGinn. I'm going to go John McGinn for Villa. I thought he had a superb game. So my three central midfielders are John McGinn, Scott McTominay, and Billy Gilmour. What about you, Russ?
I'll go with John McGinn, 100%. Thought he was very good. Gilmour, yeah, I'm going to agree with that. Billy Gilmour and John McGinn. And then I'm going to say Thiago.
Oh, Thiago Alcantara. That's a good shout.
I thought Thiago had a really good game.
That's a good shout. Kenny?
I'm tossing and turning between a new name, Madison, and McTominay.
Madison had a very good game.
I'll go with McTominay just because obviously he's on born. Madison did have a very good game.
It's not often that McTominay is ever going to get into Team of the Week, so he might as well be nice to the lad. There's a few.
United centre backs.
That spine, McTominay, Bailly, Lindelof. Oh boy, if this was real life, I'd be shitting myself. But
To be fair, you know what? I feel quite sorry for McTominay a lot of the time because I think he gets lumped into this whole thing with Fred. And in my opinion, I think McTominay he's so much better than Fred. If you can use him right, he's so much better than Fred. But I think he gets a lot of stick because he just sort of him and Fred sort of get lumped into like one person almost.
Well, they do. That's where McFred's come from.
Exactly. That's what I mean. He gets lumped into this whole McFred thing where he's just them two sort of get treated like one person. And if one has a shit game, then it's sort of like automatically the other one has a shit game. But in my opinion, personally, I think McTominay is a miles better than Fred.
Yeah. We may get battered for this, by the way, when it goes up live. But wing,
you put Lindelof instead of Van Dijk.
And we've put Brandon Williams instead of Robbo. But
yeah, exactly.
Right wing, I'm gonna go Tyreek Lamptey. To be completely honest, he virtually played right wing for Brighton. He was very, very rarely in his own half. So I'm gonna go Lamptey right wing. What about you, Russ?
It's so awkward because I'd have put Lamptey at right back, and the reason why, because I would put Salah at right wing.
I'm always here to be awkward. You know me, Russ. Love a good awkward bit and love controversy. If you don't put Salah in, that adds a little bit of controversy as well. So,
all right. Well, then in that case, fuck it, Tarek Lamptey.
Lamptey gets in. Love it. Kenny?
Yeah, Lamptey had a very good performance. But you know who I would have chosen. Let's not be crazy now. You know who I would have chosen.
No, I genuinely don't.
25.
What, Sancho? I thought he played up front. I thought he played as a front two or God knows what. God knows whatever Carrick was doing.
He played it. Yeah,
it was all over the place, to be honest. Left wing, Russ, I'll let you start us off on left wing. Who are you going for?
I mean, I don't know. See, I'm kind of sort of tempted to try and squeeze Jota out to the left wing position, even though he didn't actually play there, but because I think Jota should probably get in because he played really well, but at the same time, I want to sort of squeeze Jota onto that left wing because I think Vardy deserves to go down the middle.
It's a tough one. It's a fucking tough one, that's for sure.
I'm just thinking of other names that you could say.
It is a tough one. No, I think it's fair that we've got to pick one from that position. So we're going to have to be tough and leave one of them out. There's a vote for Saka at left wing.
To be fair, Saka had a good game.
Did Harvey Barnes play left wing for fucking Leicester?
Yeah, he did. I think he got an assist or two.
Yeah, no, he played pretty well.
He had a good game. Harvey Barnes. I'm going to go Harvey Barnes. I'm going to go Harvey. What about you, Russ?
I'll probably have to say Saka, to be fair.
Bukayo Saka and Kenny?
It was good.
Oh, I'm just... Honestly, now I'm just going to go with what? Actually, Mane.
That's really fucking helpful, Kenny. Really helpful. Well, Tyler's gone Saka, so there we go. We've 2 votes for Saka. We'll just do it that way. Not Aaron Wan-Bissaka, no way.
Yes, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
Up front. I think the choices are really between Timo Werner, Jota, and Vardy.
That is literally my 3 that I'm deliberating between right now.
Yeah, I suppose you've even got Bruno, even though I don't know if Bruno did anything.
It was
of any
I thought it was
substance.
Sancho, Rashford, Bruno behind them, It was weird.
I fuck knows what it was. I mean, Sancho. It might have been that. It might have been that Sancho and Rashford were both playing up front. But to be frankly honest, I did see Sancho give the ball away multiple times. It wasn't his finest game. He scored a goal, yes, but it wasn't his greatest game. But you don't have to have good games to get goals. I mean, that's
You
what
don't have
it
to
is.
have good games to get in our team of the week, to be fair.
Well, that's a lie. Everyone on this team sheet has had a good game. A very good game.
I just can't, I'm
Well,
just happy
Saka.
that Greenwood didn't play.
I know.
The only time you don't see Greenwood in our team of the week is if he didn't get on the field.
I've just worked out that Liverpool won 4-0 and not one of their players has got into team
This
to
is
win.
what I'm saying. I said I voted Robertson, I voted Van Dijk, I voted for Thiago. I just want that to be clear.
Do you know what? I blame Paul because Paul dropped just as we were doing this.
Well, no, but you and Kenny are the ones who have made shit decisions.
I don't think I've made.
They played well.
I think Brandon Williams had a smashing game for Norwich.
Better than Robertson?
Yes, I would say so.
I disagree.
Lindelof, you could debate with.
Did you watch the Norwich game?
Lindelof definitely doesn't deserve to be in there over Van Dijk.
Did you watch the Norwich game?
Yeah.
What, the full 90?
I drifted, but
Drifted.
no, I'm not saying he had a bad game, but Robertson had a very good game.
Yeah, I beg to differ. But striker, who are we going for? Vardy or Jota?
My vote, it has to be Werner, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see the runs? Some of the runs that he made, impeccable.
Yeah. I thought they were.
No, I
fantastic.
don't know. I want to hear you guys. I want to hear your votes, and then I'm going to make my decision.
Kenny is trying to avoid it.
I'm back.
Striker.
I want to piss off Liverpool fans, so I want to say Vardy. If we get no Liverpool players,
Well, then I'm gonna say Jota, and then Russ can have the deciding vote. Then. Yes, Russ. I will.
Tyler said Vardy. By the way, that's.
Do you know what? My initial instinct was Jamie Vardy, but at the same time, I'm a part of this team of the week now, and we're going to get smoked for not having any Liverpool players, which is why it's pushing me towards Diogo Jota, because I don't want the abuse when this team comes out and people see that there's not a single Liverpool player.
I want those Liverpool fans in my mentions. Blame it on me. Just blame it on me.
At the same time, it is really funny seeing triggered Liverpool fans, and that is why my vote is going for Jamie Vardy.
Yes.
So after all of that, JB Vardy gets the vote for striker of the week. Manager, who's managing these bunch of no, mate, we're not giving Michael Carrick the fucking manager of the week. Don't be so bloody ridiculous. He did do well, but I'm not giving. I've already put in.
You can't give him manager of the week for fucking having 11 players behind the ball.
Right, Kenny, I've already put Lindelof by Ian McTominay into your team, into team of the week. Right?
Kenny,
I am not putting I'm not putting Michael Carrick into manager of the week, and I'm pretty sure Russ won't either. So you can vote for him.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Ravi says Niall keeping it real, not having any LFC players. Haha. Tyler says Gerrard.
Is Smith a shot?
Do you know what? I'm gonna throw a curveball. I'm gonna say Dean Smith for getting a draw.
You know what?
Against
that was the first thing that popped into my head was Dean Smith.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I'm trying to go through the games in my head and think, am I being harsh on any of the other managers?
Well, I'm thinking who's got the best achievement of the weekend, and no offense to Jurgen, but I'm almost 100% sure you should be peppering Southampton. I think Gerrard did well, but am I surprised that he beat Palace? Not really. Carrick, no, he played with 11 defenders. Brendan Rodgers, I expect Leicester to beat Watford. No, not joking. Pep should be beating. Man City should be beating West Ham. Arsenal should be beating Newcastle. I think the biggest shock is probably that Norwich have kept and not just drew with Wolves. They've kept a clean sheet as well. So that's why I think their defenders have got in, and that's why I'm inclined to go Dean Smith. I'm going to go Dean Smith. What about you, Russ?
Yeah, no. To be fair, I bigged up the fact that they managed to get a draw against a difficult Wolves team.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's fair, especially it's Norwich.
Yeah.
So it's no easy task. So yeah, no, I think done well. I'll give it to Dean Smith.
I'm beaten in 3 now, so they're getting a little bit of form. Kenny, who would you have gone for?
Yeah, Dean Smith. I was literally saying Smith as you were saying that. I think they're a good week.
Yeah, and for the last bit, we've got a pick forward of the week. Now this is a new segment.
Can I just offer you guys one last chance to swap Lindelof for Van Dijk?
No, because I can't wait for the meltdown on
and any
Twitter.
takers.
It should get us some views.
Kenny, you want to change your mind?
No.
If we're being real, hopefully we'll get some more views on it. But forward of the week, new segment. Basically, this is for whoever has created being the biggest forward of the weekend. There are some special mentions. You've got the entire Chelsea attack line. You've got Jorginho. You have got Neil Maupay. He did miss an absolute fucking sitter. I'm going to go last. Russ, I'll let you go first. Who do you think should be forward of the week?
Maupay.
100%. Okay.
No, but on a serious note, yeah, all right, Jorginho made a big mistake, but over 90 minutes, I don't think he played that badly. And he scored the penalty, which is the only reason we got a draw. Okay, it's a penalty, fine, but you still got to score it. Maupay missed so many chances for Brighton. And the thing is, it's not like with Chelsea, the big chances we missed were sort of spread out amongst a few players. So it's hard to sort of pick one who was particularly awful. But Maupay, he was the one who fucking missed so many chances for Brighton. You know, he could have had a hat trick.
Yeah, you're not far wrong. I hate that that hop he does on pens. Yeah, it's annoying.
That hop's really good. I really like that hop.
Yeah, I'm sure. Who's your forward of the week?
Well, yeah, I was going to actually go with Neil Maupay, but then Russ started trying to make me go for Neil Maupay, so I'm going to go with Jorginho. If he just said Neil Maupay, I would have gone with him because he tried to reason. Because he tried to convince me.
Because I'm telling the truth. Like, Jorginho over the whole 90 minutes was not that bad. You know what I mean? He made one big fuck up.
Yeah,
I'm in a really difficult situation now because firstly I'm English, so I just need to say that, and Jorginho is Italian, so there is precedent at the moment. But Neil Maupay did miss a fucking sitter,
he missed a sitter, and then he had another chance like 5 minutes later that was like should have been a goal as well.
We're not talking just any normal sitter, mate. We're not just talking. We're talking 2/3 of the goal wide open, and he's talking on the 6-yard box.
Timo Werner level sitter.
No. We're talking worse than Timo Werner. Actually, that's unfair. Timo Werner definitely has missed from a yard out before. I definitely have seen Timo Werner miss from a yard out, but it's a tough one. What were you gonna say, Kenny?
I was saying, think about it. Martial level miss.
Didn't even. Well, no. I'm telling Wolf that you said that about Martial.
So what is he? It's true. It's Dylan
Yeah.
who loves Porto anyway.
Do I pick the Italian or do I pick Morpay? It's a
Mate,
bloody
probably
tough one.
It's one
It
of the
won't be
options.
the only. Won't be the only time
One
I'll have to.
For Jorginho, anyway. Because Chelsea normally win, so.
Do you know? I'm gonna chuck someone else out there. Fucking Rudiger. I'm gonna say Rudiger. Wise man volleying balls in the 90th minute. Like I'm
Come
saying.
on. All right.
Well, that
yeah,
means
that was
it's
a shit decision,
Tyler didn't
but
say
he
Jorginho.
didn't play badly.
That makes it 3-3. Tyler,
Tyler
you can have
said-
deciding vote. There we go. Well, he may say Jorginho, but he may now say Morpay after Russ's impassionate plea. So, Tyler, you've got the deciding vote. You can choose between Rudiger, Morpay, and Jorginho. Russ did have a passionate, an impassioned plea to not pick Jorginho.
Who does he support?
There we go. Jorginho.
He's a Liverpool fan. He's
He's a Liverpool
picked
fan.
Jorginho.
I
so-
fucking chose 3 of your players for team of the week that they didn't put in. And you can stitch me like this.
Go on.
I chose 3 of your Liverpool players to get into the team of the week.
So to confirm, and Jorginho's got another vote from Mustafa as well. So Russ is gonna be fuming. Ravi says Rudiger as well. If I was being serious, I'd have also gone Jorginho. I know he scored the penalty, but man,
If only he scored that pen. Because if he scored that pen, then we could have got Shaw on, and we could have just laughed at Shaw. We could have got Shaw.
I was sort of being an Englishman. I was sort of low key hoping he just blasted it over the bar, but my luck wasn't in. But we are going to wrap it up there. That was a fun show. Nearly went 2 hours. That did a bit of a madness. If it's 2
I will
hours,
remember this, Tyler.
if it's 2 hours for 10 games, next week is fucking 20 games. So good luck to me. That's
I'm
going to be
so
brutal.
happy there's no Liverpool players in the team of the week. 0.
Yeah, Liverpool fans, come.
0 players. There you go. There's the real frauds of the week. The ones who have won 4-0 and got no players in the team of the week.
Oi, can we put stream fraud of the week CFC Russ?
Do you want to go there?
No, we are going to wrap it up there though, because it's been a long day and my day has only just begun. I'm not even joking. But yeah, before you do go, we are doing a watch along tomorrow of Newcastle Norwich. So join us for that. Tyler says Robbo should be in now.
No, Robbo, fraud.
Brandon Williams had a much better game in my
Brandon
professional
Williams is
opinion.
miles better.
He's
Million
clear
times
of
better.
clear
Clear
of
of Robertson.
Robertson.
He's clear of Robertson anyway.
But yeah,
Williams
before we
clear
go,
of Van Dijk.
hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well if you're new to the channel. Russ, where can they find you, mate?
At CFC_Russ on Twitter. Or
Perfect.
sometimes on here arguing about Jorginho.
I was English, of course I was going to pick Jorginho. And Kenny, what about you? Also, I have pineapple on my pizza.
You can find me KTV on YouTube, KTV on Twitch. And also for you Liverpool fans out there, you'll have to request my Twitter account and wait for me to accept it. So please come for me, KennyVT10 on Twitter. Yeah, come for me, mate. I'm ready. Gaining followers and also I'll love triggers with the Liverpool fans. Honestly, they make my day. Honestly. Oh my goodness.
On that note, guys, thanks for watching. Peace out.